In theory, it is, but I think it doesn't work well because it's not flexible enough. But I prefer, people always say in the Netherlands, Willem wants to go back to a gold standard. No, I don't want to go back to a gold standard, but a fiat system needs to be contained. So I prefer the system to be gold linked, or you need to link a money system to something which prevents that politicians and central bankers will bring the value of money down to the ground. Answer in short, I don't expect one currency to take over all.
Willem Middelkoop has been vocal about the potential collapse of the U.S. dollar system. He predicts a significant shift in global financial power away from the West, with gold playing a crucial role as a stable asset. As global financial instability continues, Middelkoop views gold as a hedge against currency debasement and inflation. His insights, especially after accurately predicting the 2008 financial crisis, highlight the need for alternative stores of value. Geopolitical tensions between the U.S., China, and Russia are a significant factor in this shift. Middelkoop points out that both Russia and China have been increasing their gold reserves, signaling a move away from reliance on the U.S. dollar. This trend indicates a potential challenge to the dollar's dominance in the global financial system. As these countries prepare for a new financial order, gold's importance as a reserve asset grows. The debasement of currencies worldwide is a growing concern for Middelkoop. He predicts that central banks' use of quantitative easing will lead to further devaluation of many currencies, including the U.S. dollar. Middelkoop cautions that traditional investments in real estate and the stock market may not be sufficient to protect wealth in the coming economic shifts. Understanding and adapting to the evolving financial landscape is essential for safeguarding assets in these uncertain times. Now, we'll show you the best clips of the latest interview, but first, smash the subscribe button, hit the like button if you like our recaps, and check our description for more info. Enjoy the episode.
The new edition of the Big Reset, that you'll have a, bifurcation also in the world reserve currency market. You'll have the dollar, which will be the main world reserve currency still. But then you have this BRICS alliance who will start working on their own financial system, who might even work on their own reserve currency, or the renminbi might become the currency of choice for the BRICS countries when they start trading with each other. China is doing more international trade in its own currency now than in the US dollar. You see the BRICS countries adding a lot to their gold reserves, so it would be quite easy for them to have a currency linked to gold, connected to gold, and that could be very harmful for the West. So actually, it's a waiting game who will play the gold card first. The US might feel tempted because they have this 8,000 tons of gold in Fort Knox. Apparently, they have it. Nobody can prove it's not there. So I would be surprised when the US will return to some form of gold standard. As you might be aware, some people have suggested this already. So I'm not in the camp anymore that the dollar will collapse. The dollar will stay around. The British pound is still around. The British Empire, I haven't seen that in a long time. That hasn't been gone, but the British pound is still there. Mm-hmm. I think the same will happen with the US dollar, even if the US will leave its position as world's hegemon. The dollar will still be there. But the US might see the need to play the gold card, or they might, for the first part of this, the first decade, they might, to like a higher inflation, and a depreciation of the US dollar, because that will help them to to cope with their huge debts. First time in the history of mankind that we're in this boat together. This is the first time we see a debasement of currency at this scale and level worldwide. Even the Chinese started QE now. So in the past, if you study the history of hyperinflation, it used to be just Yugoslavia, just Zimbabwe, just Venezuela. And now you see the debasement worldwide. And that's why you see a run towards gold worldwide. If you look at central banks, there are dozens of central banks adding to their gold reserves. Even Nigeria is bringing their gold back home. Every country east of Germany is buying gold. Poland is increasing the gold holdings 10x. The smart money, the guys like Michael Saylor are buying the digital gold, Bitcoin hand over fist. And
in today's news recap, your silver to the moon. Continuing inflation may be crippling consumers, but it is doing wonders for giving silver back its luster, with the precious metal gaining over 34% in the past 6 months. In late May, silver hit its highest point in 12 years. Maria Smirnova, Senior Portfolio Manager and Chief Investment Officer for Sprott Asset Management, says silver has been playing catch up to gold's rally, while gold has been running for longer. In terms of percentage gains, the safe haven metal has only advanced 17.6% in 2024, to a peak of $2,440 in May. Smirnova says both metals have been buoyed by the prospect of easing monetary policy in the U.S., rising geopolitical turmoil in the Middle East, and central bank buying, particularly from China. Silver faced several headwinds in 2023, most notably rising interest rates and slower economic growth in both the U.S. and China. She says, while, the physical silver market was robust in 2023, Western investment demand was tepid, with silver bullion ETFs shedding approximately 50 million ounces during the year and representing more than 6% of holdings. Looking ahead, we expect silver prices to continue to improve, driven by low interest rates, more robust physical ETF purchases, and increased industrial demand. The Silver Institute sees silver demand rising 2% this year because of its dual purpose as a key element in the clean energy transition. Now we'll show you the best clips of the latest interview, but first hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you do not miss out our daily recaps. And check our description for more info and full vid credits. Enjoy the episode.
Is it possible that we end up, it seems at this point that the BRICS currency is more of a trading currency for countries. It's not necessarily like an everyday currency that most people are going to use. So, as we're talking about Bretton Woods 3 being a process, is there a time period, as you see it, that we have the US dollar still serving this role to serve as a trading currency for the average person between countries, while the new BRICS currency ends up being a trading currency between them?
Yeah, I think that's to be expected. So for us, living in the Western world, not too much will change. And of course, the BRICS they need an awful lot of time to build the plumbing system. A good working financial system, a new financial system, a BRICS system. It takes a lot of time to build it, to design it, to build it, and to have enough liquidity. I think they just started, so don't expect them to take over very soon. But it will be a competing force. And it will take away market share from the dollar, but also from the euro. If you look at the latest international trade numbers, you see even stronger decline in the use of euros than the use of dollars.
Yeah, it's interesting to try to understand how all of these forces end up balancing out through this time period.
But the most important thing to take away, I think, is not to understand which will be the currency and when it will happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the trend. We in the West are in decline. The trend is going down. In the East, the trend is going up. They're getting stronger. We're getting weaker. And while we get weaker, especially in Europe, because in Europe, we are also collateral damage in the fight between the US and China. And the more they start fighting each other, we will be more collateral damage. I'm very afraid. A lot of people here in Europe are very afraid for that, because the US always made us here in Europe to follow them, 100%, because we are allies and they liberated us 80 years ago. And that's also an interesting fact. We were liberated in 1944, 1945. At 80 years is 2024, 2025. Mm-hmm. So from a fourth turning perspective, you have, I think you're aware of the book by Neil Howe, The Fourth Turning. You have all these large changes coming every 80 years. Mm-hmm. And that it just, if you listen to Neil Howe, he predicts there will be a lot of conflicts and wars until 27, 28. And then from a fourth turning perspective, from an 80-year cycle perspective, things might start to quiet down a bit.
What do you think of Willem's take? Do you think gold and silver prices have a bright future ahead? Are you buying more gold and silver? Or on the other side, are you looking to sell your metals if we make a new high? Post in the comment section your honest opinion and share your plan with the stackers. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so. Send a super thanks if you find our recaps valuable. And watch this video right here because it's a great one. I see you on the other side.